friends, and happy holidays. Today, in the spirit of holidays, we're going to give you some more ideas of decorating your home, and we're going to build these beautiful Christmas home decorations. By doing your decorations yourself, you can express your personality and you can save money at the same time, and also you can give them to friends. A great idea. Those things cost a lot of money for no good reason these days in the store. I'm sorry, that's the reality. They charge you for 2 pieces of wood $15, $20. Even with the wood the prices it is, that is not $20 of wood.
No.
It's not even $10 of wood.
It's not even $1.50 of wood.
So save money, do it yourself, express your personality, have fun, build memories. Happy holidays. We found ourselves with a lot of scrap of tang and groove, so we repurposed them to build the trees, and we're going to show you exactly how we do that. These are fairly simple projects, lady. Beginner, intermediate, or advanced?
I think this could be a beginner one.
Yeah, it's just more time consuming than
Right.
difficult.
It takes some time, but they're nothing complex. You can do them with fairly basic tools. So if you want to start doing your own decorations, these projects are a great start. So from our last project, we have a bunch of those, as you can see here.
Mm-hmm. The siding panels.
And the problem with those are, if you want it visible on both sides, the two sides are not the same.
Right.
This has a decorative groove. And also, for most applications, you don't want the tang and groove. This is the tang, this is the groove.
Yep.
So you need to get rid of those. And last episode, we showed you how to get rid of those, the tang and the groove. Now we're going to show you how to get rid of this decorative element and go from that to that.
Right, on both sides. Now it's a smooth side, and you can, we have all this wood. We purchased it for a different project, but it's still good pine, and we're going to make use of it by altering its functionality and appearance a little bit.
So as always, you start by cutting the correct dimension. In this case, the length we need.
Right.
So a public service announcement. Most of the those guards are plastic. On this, so it's plastic as well. So why you need this? Clearly, the blade can go through it, and we know that. How, Mrs. DIY?
Because the blade cut through it.
So what's the purpose of this? Well, the purpose of this is exactly this. You see? If you go to the existing one, if by accident my hand moves there and the blade is rotating, nothing will happen.
Mm-hmm.
But if the blade is rotating on this, as it was a minute ago, and my hand goes there, for example, to pick up something, and I'm not thinking and I raise my hand, you can see the problem, right?
Yep.
So that's why you need to operate it with a guard, unless you're comfortable doing it without. And I'm comfortable. Mrs. DIY is not comfortable.
I'm not comfortable for anyone doing it without, but,
So we might be retiring this one soon. So there are many different ways to take this into a flat board like this. If you have but basic equipment, sanding will do it, right?
Yep.
But like anything else, as we say, if you don't have power tools, sanding will take a minute or two to get there. We are going to use this machine for the first time in its life for what is intended. This is a thickness planer, right? So it is intended to take material down to thickness.
Right.
And today we're going to use it as a thickness planer. We're going to put our material here. So if your hose doesn't fit to have dust extraction from your machine, you need to have some very state-of-the-art, very expensive adapters.
Yep.
And here in the Urban Homesteading channel, we spare no expense, ladies and gentlemen. And here is the best state-of-the-art money can buy. It will adapt your hose to fit any size, anywhere. And that is blue paper towels, soap towels. As you can see, combined with black Gorilla Tape, it gives you a perfect fit.
Doesn't get better than that.
No one would know, right?
Right.
Excellent. And as you can imagine, we are getting ready to use this machinery.
We are?
Yes.
Awesome.
So we're going to plug it in because
Power is good.
usually we don't plug things in. And we're going to thickness it. A thickness planer is not a necessary tool, but it's most certainly a nice tool to have. As we saw you here, it gives you a very nice finished result. You don't have to do anything else to it. You can process it immediately. You can paint it, you can stain it, you can leave it as it is. No sanding is needed, no other preparation is needed, as long as your blades are nice and sharp, and our blades are always kept nice and sharp. The advantage of a thickness player on this specific project is the speed. We could achieve the same result with sanding, but it will take maybe 10 times longer. So for us, using the thickness planer made total sense. If you do not care about how fast you do something, however, any sander will work. So our next step is to remove the tongue and the groove. The first step is to move your blade just above the surface of your material, and this is kind of beveled here, so it's a little harder than normal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a piece of wood, and as you can see, the blade just barely moves, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to move it just a tad up. That is the technical term.
Just a tad.
Just a tad.
That's a very precise, scientific.
And then are you happy there, or you want more?
Slightly more.
Or do you want to go completely there?
Yeah, that's too far. Too far.
Well, if I don't get it there, it will still have a bit down.
Back one.
You want
here.
it quirt?
Back one here. That's another scientific term. There you go.
All right, let's try. These boards, while better than dimensional lumber when it comes to their overall dimensions, they are not by any means perfect. So in general terms, you can leave the same setting and you can run all your boards and you're going to have very good results. And since theoretically all of those are the same dimension, we should be able to cut all of them, right?
Theoretically.
If you end up with a little bit of sliver of material, take your plastic razor, blade razor, and as you can see, it does a very, very nice job.
Yeah, it's a multi-purpose tool. As you know or may have seen, we use this to remove all the plastic sticker labels that come on lumber.
And that was not the problem of the tool, was my left hand after my stroke doesn't work very well. And as you can see, it gives us a very nice finish.
Yep, sure does.
So with the tank side nice and flat, as you can see here, it is time to remove the groove.
Show me the groove. Show me the groove. Here you go.
Groovy. I'm old, aren't I? And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to align it with our blade. You must stop the fence.
That's helpful. It's helpful.
Well, usually we don't power it up, so that's a new and improved.
A little more. Well, it's got to be a little more. You also cannot tap it if you have locked the blade, locked the fence.
Oh, well, you know.
It works both ways.
Productivity and accuracy tip. Set your blade once and cut all of your pieces with that set dimension. That will give everything very consistent and your accuracy will be greatly improved, unlike if you have to do that for every board. It will go faster, it will be more accurate, and you will spend less time working on this. You don't like that.
As usual, these boards are not all consistent, so we wanted to start with taking off less than taking off more. That's why we did all of them at the same setting, and now we can move it over just a little bit more to get that groove completely gone. Too much.
No, I think that's there.
No, too much.
Well, I cannot do that final adjustment. That's what we're doing. As the old saying goes, it is always easier to remove wood than to add wood. So by nibbling the wood away, we maximize the amount of wood we can use out of these scraps without wasting unnecessary wood and without having to worry about making a mistake. Again, we're keeping everything the same width, and because of those boards' general dimensions, that tends to work very well, unlike dimensional lumber as I mentioned before. Here we're making a little bit of a mess with all these cut off pieces, but that is okay. There is no danger here with this process. That was not sketchy at all. Perfect. You will never think someone spent a lot of energy to make them tank and groove and also decorate it. Because we took that away.
We sure did.
See? This is how you take a fancy board and make it into a simple one.
And the funniest part about it is the fancy boards were cheaper than the plain ones.
That's actually the funny part, yes. So our next step is using a straight edge, and you can use whatever you have available to you for that. We're using another piece of board that we know it is straight. It looks like it's the same type of board too. How many of those have we used before?
I'm not sure if it is or not, but it could be.
And what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line, and that will give us two 90-degree triangles, and we're going to hand cut on the bandsaw. So here we have with our 8 pieces that they will be joined together and then again together to give us 2 trees. And what we learned from this experience is we need a jig to make cuts, and my senior moment has passed. We need to make tapers, right? So we need to make a jig. We're not going to make it today, but maybe one of our next episodes will be how to make a tapering jig. This is okay, this is nothing wrong with this method, but we'll need an additional step, which is sanding for the pieces to come together. Positioning the vacuum hose just in front of the belt worked really very well, as you can see here. It looks like it would be a great place to create a little bit of an outlet for the dust, and I don't know why no one has done that in their tools as of yet. I might just print a 3D piece here for my belt sander because this worked so well. I was very surprised. Again, why tool manufacturers don't do that? Freehand cutting the board left a slightly uneven surface, which would not be critical, it could be covered, but we decided to sand it so it will look great. And if you want a project that is important, this is not a very long process. As you can see, it takes just a few moments for the boards to become nice and flat and be totally useful. But definitely that was something that we had to do, because freehand cutting anything does not give you the perfect idea. Another reason why we need a tapering jig for the home. Coming soon. So we're setting up for gluing right now, and we're using a piece of scrap to make sure that our bottoms are flush, because you want your bottoms to be flush.
Flush bottoms.
And we do the nice dry fit, and we're pleased with it. This dust is good.
Now it's time for the glue up.
The gluing process. Now we're using tight bond, precise control, fast and thick.
It's quick and thick.
It says fast.
It also says quick, doesn't it?
It says 2 times faster.
Okay.
That is enough glue to hold the Empire State Building. All right, and we're going to use some brad nail. This is not necessary. We're going to use brad nails because we want to move on with the project and not just wait for glue to dry. So the next step is to use the sorter piece and attach it just like that. So we have 3/4 of the tree done. Now some people may be happy there. We are going to put another piece, if you want to show it please, and that will be the product before we finish it. So we're gluing the last piece. I think you're doing the wrong side. No, you're right. So we are gluing the last piece of the first tree, and the last piece of the second tree will be identical. We're putting a little bit of glue, and we're using a little bit of pin nails until the glue dries, again because we are trying to finish the production here. Again, the pin nailing is optional.
What's another option if they don't have pin nails or don't want to do pin nails?
You wait for glue to dry.
But how are they holding it together, I guess is my question.
You don't need to hold it together really, but you can use tape, painter's tape.
I'm making a lighter blue with white and blue.
Custom color.
Custom color.
And so you just mix the white with the blue until you get the appropriate shade that you're looking for,
Right.
if you didn't want it that dark. That way you can buy some basic colors and then make different shades within that palette. Okay. kind of all finished up. You can see there is some variation in the color. It gives it a little bit of depth. And now we're going to get started on this last one, which is going to be white. So now we've got both of them painted. They're looking really nice. Did you determine if you're going to do a layer of anything on the white, or you're going to leave it like that?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to leave it like it is.
Okay.
I could go back and put like a few streaks of white on the blue and a few streaks of blue on the white.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could do anything you want.
But for now, you're happy with how they look.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
For our next project, we are cutting cork. There we go. Merry Christmas to you all. You will need a lot of corks and a lot of high-tech equipment to keep your corks organized and controlled, right? Now this operation can be done by hand. Again, we have a bandsaw and we're using it.
And you have to be very careful because my fingers are very close to the blade. And the only reason I'm holding it this way is because we have a lip back here that stops it from moving forward. But I'm very comfortable with this piece of machinery.
Yes, you are.
And I know where my fingers are at all times. So we've got a hot glue hot. It's hot. And we know that because the light is on and it's been on for several minutes. And we've got our half corks that we're going to glue to the base here to make the base of our tree.
The advantage of hot glue is that it dries almost immediately. You just hold it for a couple of moments and then you're done. And of course the disadvantage is that if you get it on your fingers, it is very, very hot and could potentially burn you and create blisters. However, for this project, which is more arts and crafts, is the best choice.
This is not perfection. This is an arts and crafts project. And we're going to do some additional things to adorn it. So if it's not exactly a perfect match, that's okay.
This is a perfect gift for your drunk friends.
For those who enjoy wine and some rustic decor, this would be a very nice option. And as you can see, we did cut quite a pile of these because there's going to be quite a bit of them. And we're going to keep going all the way around. We'll get maybe a couple of layers done and show you what it looks like then.
So the base is done. As you can see, we have hot glue, a whole base. The idea is to cover as much of white of cylinder as you can. And I believe these are from florist.
Yeah, they're
thing,
florist
right?
cones.
You can buy some that they are what is called machete paper.
Paper mache.
Paper machete, what's the difference?
Machete is something that is a giant knife you use to cut things.
Okay, paper mache, we found this, so that's what we bought. We are learning as we go here. This is not as easy as you might think. And we are using some pin nails, primarily because, again, we have it, right? However, what if you don't have it, Elpida, Miss DIY?
There are actually some crafting pins that you can get. They're like sewing pins that are going to be, well, they have them in different lengths, but they also have a really flat head, so you can push it through there and into the foam, and it would secure them just as well.
And that will not, again, be as fast. And there is no reason for us to do that because we don't have them, number one. Number two, we do have the pin nails.
Right.
So in both accounts, use what you have. Don't go out and buy stuff for one project. Here you're looking for a homemade, amateurish look. You want people to see that and say, did you make that yourself? And of course you say yes. Do not try for perfection here. Do not try to remove the little globbles of glue. This piece needs to talk, I made that myself and I'm proud of my work. So leave perfection behind and enjoy. It is not the fastest process and it will not be perfect, and that's exactly the point. So we finished the second from the bottom row. So you simply continue that process all the way to the top, almost to the roof. And
This is the roof.
you need less and less as you go up, of course, right?
Yeah.
And hot glue is hot.
It always is.
So we've completed quite a few rows. We're getting closer to the top. It's looking really nice. Okay, so as we've gotten closer to the top, you'll see that the row's a little bit tighter, and what we've had to do is start trimming a couple of pieces. And so in this row, we trimmed this one up a little bit, we trimmed this one up a little bit, but you can see that the fitment actually is better. And once you get them all layered up, you're not going to notice that. So we are now ready to complete the top row, and it's a much more narrow piece of the cone. And so to accommodate that, what we have done is make some shapes for that top row.
Taken some of the sides off of these pieces so that they are narrower at the top and wider at the bottom. And this is going to help us go around the top of the cone, as you can see.
And it will prevent a lot of spacing between those.
Right. As you can see, those are going to fit much better together.
Yeah. Okay.
In our wine cork collections, we found a number of different shaped corks. Very interesting. And you'd think that this might come out of a different kind of spirit, but this came out of wine bottles. And so because we have these, we are going to use the shape to our advantage, and we're going to modify this by taking the neck off and using it as a topper for our tree. So I'm going to cut that off and be right back to show you. So we have these decorations that we found at the Dollar Tree.
Actually, those were the Wally World.
Oh,
That was the Wally World.
Walmart. Okay. But they have, you know, we want to be able to attach it to our top, right? Mm-hmm. So what we decided to do is to take advantage of some of these grooves here that this particular wine cork had already in it, and make them a little bit wider to accommodate the width of this so that it can sit down on top. And of course we'll use another attachment mechanism, but at least it'll be you know, into a groove. Right. And I think it will hold it more firmly.
Okay. And so to do that, we're gonna use our trusty utility knife to expand those grooves a little bit. And again, these are very sharp if you are using them correctly. So make sure that you are careful with that blade. Alright, so we've got the starred piece attached to the cork top that we cut off, and now we are ready to attach it to the top of our tree. And again, we're just going to use that hot glue, which really does keep things very, very secure once it sets. Just remember, hot glue is hot. You can maybe see that steam rolling off there. There we go. There we go. And that'll set up nicely in just a couple of minutes, and it'll hold that very securely. And now you can see this tree is coming together. We do have a couple more things we're going to do to it, and we will come back and show you what that looks like.
We're ready now to start decorating our tree, and we've got some ornaments that we're going to make out of something we got at
Dollar
Tree this time. Mm-hmm. And these are just regular little garlands, but they're necklaces. Beads, mm-hmm. Right? Yep. No, these are necklaces.
Yep, okay. They are necklaces.
I'm going to call them garland. And we're just clipping all these little ornaments mm-hmm. apart so that we can glue them onto our tree.
So as you can see, we're starting to get this all together, and we've got both the red and the gold little balls here that we've cut apart from those necklaces that are going very nicely on that tree, and dress it up just like a really nice Christmas tree. Alright, so we've got the red and gold little balls all hot glued on there, and we've started adding some additional like pearlescent type little balls, and these have actually little push pins on them, and that's exactly what they are. We got these from the Dollar Tree again. This is not very good in focus. Little push pins, you get 15 of them in a pack for that $1.25 right now. And they're really nice because again, you don't have to have any other form of adhesion. You don't have to use glue, and they're easily repositionable if you decide you don't like where you put it.
Yep.
But it's just adding another layer of dimension and color to this project.
So how much this cost? We always give you a cost, right? This in our area is about $3, right?
Yep.
And you can use other cheaper alternatives. I think the paper ones are cheaper, if I recall correctly.
If you can find them.
If you can find them. We couldn't find them, so we went to this that's more expensive. The bead, the decorations, the little boards are fairly inexpensive, and it costs us about a couple of dollars, right? Of course, we had the corks, and if you have any wine enthusiasts, they will probably have corks as well, and you might want to start hitting your friends about corks. So the corks didn't cost anything, but if you are so inclined, you can actually buy them on Etsy. People are selling corks.
And they sell them in other online stores as well.
Right, yeah. No affiliation with Etsy or anything else. So we're doing about all three pieces cost us around these are our project for today, and it takes a little bit of time. What you will say if you don't record? 3-4 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely doable in a day, in an afternoon. We hope you enjoy this episode and you will enjoy making these beautiful decorations for your own house. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the other button twice. Share, like, subscribe. Let us know if you'd like to see more DIY projects like that are a little more arts and crafts and less woodworking, or not. From Professor DIY, Mrs. DIY, and Elpida, let's build something together.